Food for plants and animals. Plants are important to us. They produce all kinds of food that living things eat. The animals that give us meat, milk, etc., eat grass, leaves or some other plant parts. If they do not get to eat plants, they will die. So all the food that we eat comes either directly or indirectly from plants. But how do plants get food? They make their own food. Leaves as food factories. Green plants are the only living things that prepare their own food. The leaf is the part of a plant that serves primarily as the food-making organ of a plant. The food-making process in the leaf is called photosynthesis. It is a set of steps that happen inside the cells of green plants. A leaf needs water, carbon dioxide, sunlight and chlorophyll to complete the process of photosynthesis. It is done in the following steps. Plants collect the water they need through their roots. Veins carry water up to the leaf. Tiny pores, on the leaf, called stomata, take in carbon dioxide from the air. Chlorophyll in the leaf makes it easier to absorb light energy. Now the photosynthesis process starts and green leaf is able to use the energy of sunlight to make food in the form of starch. Starch stores energy and provides this energy to plants for growth. During this process, oxygen and extra water are produced. This oxygen is an important part of the air. When we breathe, it is the oxygen that we take in from the air to keep our bodies alive. Photosynthesis is completed in the presence of sunlight. Without sunlight, plants are not able to make food. Food for non-green fungi. Some fungi like yeast, mushrooms, truffles, mold and rust do not contain green chlorophyll. They are unable to use sunlight to produce their food. They get their food from the dead and decaying plants and animals. They are called saprophytes. Carnivorous plants. Carnivorous plants usually live in nitrogen-deficient soils. They have specialized features that allow them to access nutrients by trapping and digesting insects. Pitcher plant and Venus flytrap are examples of carnivorous plants. Pitcher plant. The pitcher plant leaves resemble a long tube. The inside of the tubular leaf is lined with downward penetrating hair. This tube produces sugary nectar and insects are attracted to the nectar. When insects are drawn inside this tube, these hair block insects from climbing up the tube and escaping. Digestive enzymes then break down the insects' bodies, making nutrients available to the plant. Venus flytrap. When Venus flytrap is open, it is red and smells sweet. It has stiff hair on each edge. Inside the leaves, there are very sensitive tiny hair which cause the leaves to snap shut when they are touched, and the insect is absorbed by the plant. Things from plants. Plants are important to us. They provide us many useful things. Plants prepare food such as starch which we obtain from rice, wheat and potato. Pulses and lentils like black gram, green gram and pea provide us with valuable proteins. Leafy vegetables like cabbage, lettuce and spinach are rich in vitamins. Fruits also provide us with precious vitamins. We get edible oil from coconut, mustard, groundnut and sesame. Plants like grass provide nutritious fodder for our domestic animals. Trees give us useful timber for building houses, boats and bridges. Wood is also used for furniture and firewood. The cotton and jute plants provide us fibers for making clothes, bags, carpets and ropes. The wonder drug penicillin is derived from a fungus. Bamboo stems are used to make paper. The history of tea drinking in India. Tea drinking has evolved in different ways over the years in India and differs from region to region. First thought of as the drink of the royals, tea has now become the favorite of the common man as India leads the world in tea drinking. From the humble roadside tea stalls and the railway platforms to the boardrooms of corporate India, tea is easily available. The cup of sweet and refreshing chai available in tea shops or railway stations to the masala teas of North India, the variety of brews available is numerous. As per the history of tea drinking in India, local people used to brew and drink tea using the leaves of the wild native tea plants. Since that time, different varieties of tea have emerged. The most famous among them is the Darjeeling tea. The commercial production of tea in India was started by the British East India Company, and vast tracts of land were exclusively developed into tea estates which produced various types of tea. The first tea garden was established by the British East India Company by the end of the 19th century after the company took over tea cultivation in Assam, a region in the northeastern part of India. Categories of animals. On the basis of food habits, animals can be divided into 5 main groups. Herbivores. Animals that eat only plants are called herbivorous animals. They have flat teeth to cut and grind plant matter. Examples of these are cows, horses, goats, deer, zebras and giraffes. Carnivores. Animals that eat flesh of other animals are called carnivorous animals. Carnivores have sharp tearing teeth for eating meat. Examples of these are lions, tigers and snakes. Omnivores. Omnivores like to eat both plants and flesh of other animals. Bears, crows and humans are omnivorous. Scavengers. Some meat-eating animals feed on the flesh of dead animals. These animals are called scavengers, for example vulture, jackal and hyena. Parasites. Some animals live on or inside the body of other living animals for their food. These animals are called parasites. Tapeworms, roundworms and hookworms live inside the host animal's body. Food chain and food web. Do you like to play games? If you do, you will need energy. Every time you run or jump, you are using up energy in your body. How do you get the energy to play? You get energy from the food you eat. Similarly, all living things get energy from their food so that they can move and grow. As food passes through the body, some of it is digested. This process of digestion releases energy. A food chain shows how each living thing gets its food. Some animals eat plants and some animals eat other animals. For example, a simple food chain links the trees and shrubs, the giraffes, that eat trees and shrubs, and the lions, that eat the giraffes. Each link in this chain is food for the next link. Plants are called producers because they are able to use light energy from the sun to produce food, sugar, from carbon dioxide and water. Animals cannot make their own food, so they have to eat plants and other animals. They are called consumers. There are 3 groups of consumers. In nature, food chain relationships are not isolated. They are very complex, as one organism may form the food source of many organisms. Thus, instead of a simple linear food chain, a web-like structure is formed by these interlinked food chains. Such interconnected matrix of food chains is called food web. Food web can be defined as a network of food chains which are interconnected at various trophic levels, so as to form a number of feeding connections among different organisms of a biotic community.